is up in Bremerton, Washington area, resting away. Shoving her back down here, refurbishing and then reopening that ship to the public. If you guys are interested, for those of you that haven't been on board yet, she opens at 10 and closes at 5. Their final tour begins at 4 o'clock. So we're going to purchase a ticket to get on, which is like, what, 36 bucks? Something like that. If you are going to purchase a ticket and get on board, you need to be there at 10 o'clock. You need to check that ship out because there are 8 different levels of fees that you need to go on board. Oh, per month? Really? Oh, like $2? Something like that? I actually went on the Midway 6 months after it opened here. I won tickets on the radio. Back in the day, remember you win tickets on the radio?
Yeah.
Now coming up, once we get past the Midway, you're going to see this dock area. We've got Flagship over here. So Flagship is actually where I began my maritime journey going on about 6 years ago. Done pretty much everything on the coast except becoming captain myself. I'm currently working on my sea time, so next time you guys come back to San Diego, you might be on board with Captain Joel.
Yay!
Right? So, thank you. Now, we've got all sorts of different boats going on here at Flagship. So we've got the Patriot Speedboat. Oh, and you guys decided to go on that one. It's a 30-minute thrill ride. It's a trick boat, right? It hauls buns. It's amazing, but you better do it early or do it late, okay? You don't have anywhere to go afterwards because you're going to look like a drowned rat. I'm just throwing that out there right now. They have the ferry that'll take you over to Coronado. 1 hour, 2 hour boat tours, and then here on the large yacht, the California Spirit, they do dinner and brunch cruises. Now, if you do decide to get on a dinner or a brunch cruise, make sure you request a server named Sydney, like Sydney, Australia. So, that's my daughter. She owes me some rent money.
Yay!
Do we have any baseball fans on board? Woo! Any Padre fans on board? Woo! She's all boo. Boo! No, I love the Padres, okay? By default, I was born here, I got you. Anywho, coming up on our right-hand side, I'm going to have you, right when we get to this corner, look at the grass there. It's a pitcher's mound. You'll notice home plate right here. It says 2015 on it. That's Lane Field. So before the Intercontinental Hotel was here, this used to be our original baseball park in San Diego. It was an all-wood field. We had a Pacific Coast League team called the Hollywood Stars. They came down from LA. That was 1930s into the 1950s, right before they ended up becoming the San Diego Padres. And we had a couple of memorable players that played on our team here. One that I'd like to recognize, Ed Williams. He played here for 1 season before moving on to the Boston Red Sox. Now, in that season, it was pretty eventful. He ended up snatching a home run out of the field. It ended up 2 blocks over at Santa Fe Depot, which is our train station. And it ended up on a northbound train. That train was not going to stop for a baseball, but when it did come to a stop up in Long Beach, California, it became the longest unofficial home run ever hit out of a ballpark. Right here in San Diego. Oh my gosh, are you yawning already? Oh, he's gonna pass out on the water. I already know. Baby's an old man. You're not an old man, but still. Am I? I'm a Gemini with 4 brothers. I was born Venus. So we've got our Maritime Museum coming up here. This is the #1 Maritime Museum in the United States. Top 3 in the world. We've got over 12 different vessels that make up the museum here and over 500 years of maritime history. Now this second boat back right here, this pirate ship, you guys may know her as the Black Boat, right? We call her the HMS Surprise. She was the master commander and Pirates of the Caribbean. So if you guys want to check that boat out, you better do it quick, okay? They're talking about they put on board, they did an audit, they said to So we're going to talk more about the museum in a little bit. I would like to set our sights on the right-hand side. We're checking out our first of more than 340 public parks right here. This one's called Waterfront Park. Don't mind our grass, okay? We have festivals here, and I don't even know why there's grass here. It's ridiculous. But when there's not festivals going on, it's super family friendly. Great kids play area, new pickleball and basketball courts, and for our fur babies, a new dog park as well. Now, if you look beyond the park, you're going to notice all of the buildings back here have gotten drastically shorter. Reason being, we're in the flight path now. So a lot of our flights that are cruising into San Diego, once they're at this point, they're about 50 yards off of the ground, so they do tend to build everything extremely low over here. Now this area back here is also called Little Italy. Has anybody been to Little Italy? Yes. Little Italy, I love it. So largest Little Italy in the United States, about 48 city blocks, massive. If we have any foodies on board, or my food bags. Okay, I love it. At least somebody admitted to it. Me too. So, foodie hated. Who likes to enjoy a meal every now and again? Okay, thank you. That's the spot for you. In that 48 city blocks, there are hundreds and hundreds of restaurants, not to mention gelato shops, coffee shops, bakeries, anything edible. That's the spot for you. Definitely check out the list. Wednesdays and Saturdays, they've got the largest farmers market in San Diego County. That goes on between the hours of 9 until about 3 in the afternoon. Today's Wednesday now. They're looking for a farmers market tonight in Ocean Beach. Everybody just wanted it much smaller, but really fun. Everything kind of happening over there at night. Alright, here we go. I think keep an eye out for planes for you guys. I'm not seeing anything yet, which is strange because we have about 600 flights that are coming and going all day long here. That's going to bring us to San Diego International Airport. This is actually the busiest single runway airport in the United States. Like I mentioned, 600 flights. Now that's middle of the road, okay? On our busiest days here in San Diego, we can have an upwards of 800 flights coming and going. That means every 30 seconds, you see a flight taking off, another one is inbound. There's a circle of airplanes all day long. Quiet over here today. So, has anybody ever thought about possibly like living on a boat, maybe? Never?
No.
Well, you might. Right here, rent $200 a month, hands down the cheapest rent you're gonna find anywhere in San Diego County. Okay. Yeah. Now, if your hamster wheel's turning, pump your brakes. The current wait list for a spot here, 10 to 12 years.
Oh.
I know. When they told me that, I said, okay, 10 to 12 years. That's an ample amount of time for me to save up. I'll have a really nice boat by then, right? No, they said, Jules, get out. No, you have to have pink slips in hand to get on the list.
Oh, wow.
I'm out. Friends with boats, that's where it's at. So, have we had any military on board today? Past, present, or future? Nobody? Wow. Were you military? Merchant Marine? Did you go to boot camp? No. Nice. Nice. Alright, so I'm not military either, just back on you guys. But San Diego, you may or may not know the situation military officers. There's a lot going on here. We've got Marines, Navy, Coast Guard, and the Army was actually the official laid down right here in the very early 1900s. Now, like I mentioned, I'm not military, but you know, I'm the family. So I like to put a little emphasis into it during my tour. I'm going to start off with Marines, okay? This goes out to my ladies on board. Where are my ladies at? Wow. Where are my ladies at? Holla. My hype squad, she's coming in clutch. Yes, queen. So, on the other side of the airport, we have a little spot called SCRT. That's our Marine Corps Recruit Depot. We're Marines are made on the West Coast. Now, here we're coming from the Mississippi River West. We'll be coming to San Diego for boot camp. Mississippi River East, we come to Paris Island in South Carolina. Now, traditionally, ladies, we always went to South Carolina us until about 5 years ago. So it was Valentine's Day of 2021 when we finally had our graduating class here. We called the Lima Company. So in honor of my ladies making money moves, where my ladies at? Here you go. That's the Marines in a nutshell. Coming up in a minute. Oh gosh. I'm way ahead of myself. We're going to be coming up to our first of 2 man-made islands here in a second. Now we have Harbor Island here in San Diego and Shelter Island. So we're going to be getting on the water off of Shelter Island. Both of these islands were created due to the Navy. So the Navy, they actually came into San Diego back in 1913. 2 years after the Army already established themselves over on North Island. Now, when they got here, the Navy got here, they cruised around the bay, they checked things out, they recognized that San Diego was going to be a smoking spot to create a naval base. They were not wrong. We're now the second largest naval installation in the United States, second only to the Norfolk, Virginia. Something else the Navy noticed when they were looking around was that our base is extremely shallow. About 15 to 20 feet, 15 to 40. So they knew that they were going to have to start taking for about 15 years, and where's that now? 16 all the way through. Now, the dirt is dug up, rock and concrete, so we ended up in the island. Harbor Island coming up here. Does anybody need a blanket? Okay. We have some ideas, let me know. We gotta go through this guy.
Louis, do you see the cell tower?
Build off of that. Now we've got a 361-acre urban shopping area. Anything that you might want to do while you're here visiting, you can find it out there. They've got a beautiful golf course, museums, restaurants, clothing stores, etc. You get the picture. Liberty Station. Alright, we're cruising into Point Loma now. Point Loma is actually nothing more than a farmhouse now. Now, this area has some very interesting the Portuguese, Japanese,
Yep.
Italian folks. Now, a lot of the Italians, when they got here to San Diego, they naturally kind of gravitated towards Little Italy, right? They already had like a hub set up for them. So a lot of those folks went there. Now, the Portuguese and Japanese that we had coming into the city, they didn't have a hub like that set up for them yet. So a lot of those folks ended up here in Point Loma. Recently, probably found a easy work right on the water, so it makes sense for them. Now, as they began to make money in the food industry, they decided, you know what? We love it here. It's beautiful. This is our home away from home. This is where we're going to lay down our roots and build our foundation. You're going to see a bunch of homes up in front of us on the hillside here. A lot of those homes were built by those Michigan and their family members, and a lot of those families are here today. So when you come in, slowly you get to know the locals, and quickly learn that we lovingly call this area Tunaville. You come to Tunaville, if you're looking for a home of your own, you better bring your wallet. Alright, starter homes here in the area, nowadays they're about $2 to $2.5 million it's going to cost you.
Yep.
During COVID, I got my real estate license. My first open house was here in Point Loma. I figured what better spot, right, my hometown. It was a studio apartment of 340 square feet. It had a Murphy bed, the bed that pulls out the wall. They wanted $900 grand for it.
Oh my.
There was no pool and no jacuzzi. I was like, oh yeah, I've never baked so many cookies in my life. Ridiculous. Now, if you're not on the market for a home, maybe a great deal. Okay, we have some really phenomenal restaurants over here. Now, right here is Point Loma Sport Fishing and Building. There's a walkway that goes along the side of the building. If you go to the back, there's a little taco shop back there. It's called Mission, where my Mission is at. 14 years in a row voted best fish taco in San Diego County. And then, coming up on our right-hand side here in Judgment Back, you're going to see a double-decker red building with red awning going around it. We've got Miguel. So Miguel's
Miguel.
San Diego famous. It is phenomenal. Coastal Mexican restaurant. I know nobody on board likes to eat. Do we have anybody on board that enjoys happy hour? All right, liquid lunch. So, Miguel's is the spot, let me tell you. Monday through Friday between 3 to 6 is their happy hour. They have, for under $20, you're going to get yourself a shareable appetizer and a margarita. Okay, so you can't beat that. Now, if you're not at the happy hour, no biggie. Their whole menu is killer. Okay, so go check it out. You're going to love it. All right. Once we get that little street there, we're cruising on to Shelter Island. Welcome to our second man-made island. You're quickly going to notice we're surrounded by boats. Off to the left-hand side, we've got America's Cup Harbor back there. That harbor can comfortably hold about 900 seafaring vessels. And then, as we cruise up a little bit further, on our right-hand side, we've got the Shelter Island Marina here. Now, this marina can hold about 3,100 yachts, sailboats, fishing vessels.
Wow.
And I just recently learned that this marina is holding the #1 spot for the most expensive mooring on the west coast of the United States. If you want to keep your boat here, we're talking $2,000 to $10,000 per month. So within under a mile, about a mile, we went from least expensive to most expensive mooring right here in San Diego. Location, this is the mouth of the bay. You're like less than a mile from the Pacific Ocean. So, yeah, it's just crazy. We've got, what's that? Oh, that's true. Yeah, over there, those mooring spots, you have to paddle in to get on, back onto land. Here you have a dock. That's crazy though. There's a free passboat in here. That's true. My favorite part of this resort is right back here. They have a concert hall, small venue, 1,500 seats. Once you're inside, you are going to be able to get super up close and personal with the bands that are there. Now, if for some reason you can't manage to snag your ticket to get into that overhead all the way in the back, if anybody ends up back there, anybody 90 pounds or lighter, we've got them here in the big blue box. You're not going to need them. I'm simply going to show you how to use them. Cool. 1, 2, 3, hands up. Woo! Here we go. All right. You're on a boat now. Now that you're on a boat, the rules have changed. You can stand up. You can stretch your bodies and relax. We do ask that you keep 2 feet on the ground and one hand to keep yourself sturdy. For everybody on board, no feet on the seat, okay? We don't want anybody falling in. I do recommend that you keep your cameras inside, because if you drop it outside, I'm not going to be certified, alright? It's going to be about 20 minutes before we get to the main barge, so chill out, relax, and enjoy the San Diego Bay.
This is awesome.
Dolphins, I think it'll be over there, huh?
I don't know. Most likely,
There's
yeah.
a beetle.
I see it. He's gonna stop. He's gonna get tired. Seems like he's gonna stop.
Oh. Oh.
Where do we get out?
Same place.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here comes
The video came out good, and it ended with you laughing. So,
Oh, it did?
yeah,
Oh, good.
it looks really good.
When we're done, we can go to the top of the Hyatt and have a cocktail.
It's not going to be a pain to get to it, is it?
No, we just walk over there.
Okay. We have a cocktail there. Will they stamp off our little thing?
I don't know. Maybe.
Look at that shit. I don't know where they're going to.
I know. I saw that.
Oh my gosh. So these helicopters are so massive. We had one cruise over our tour a couple months ago. I didn't know anything about them. These are super stallions. So basically, the boat we're on right now is already long. The rotors on the top of that helicopter are long, and the bodies are so powerful. They can lift this boat up with every single one of us on board and fly with us. Right
Damn.
now. So we're ready on board from Arizona. Okay, so the Hamu, right, the sandstorm. So when these guys are landing and taking off, look at that. They reach the Hamu
yeah.
immediately.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
nails are about 5 to 6 feet long. Anywhere between 150 to 300 pounds. And they're more of a caramel color. Now, these animals they usually are 14 to 18 hours a day. When they're up and moving and shaking, they're either looking for food or looking for a mate.
Oh, look at it.
We've already talked about the mating portion. Now, food, they eat about 8% of their body weight on average every single day to sustain themselves. Mad dog, you? Poor guy.
You see him stick his head up?
There we go. This male, he's trying to woo the ladies. They have it. Keep an eye out that little in the cuddle puddle over there. We got whatever energetic field is being put off by that, they hate it. They will not come in here. So yeah, I kind of, double purpose with unknowingly. So yeah, their main predators are great white sharks and orcas, neither of which come into the San Diego Bay. Orcas, it's really rare to see them down here. I was actually, maybe 3 years ago, I was on one of the whale watching tours. I used to go whale watching. And we ended up, my captain, he said, hey, we spotted an orca out there. You want to hit it? I said, let's roll. So we went out there, we ended up catching them. So that has been 7 years. So last year when I first started doing this gig, he was out here, he wasn't looking too hot. I finally had passed all of my training and I came out, I was on one of my first tours and we see Popeye. And come to find out he had a bacterial infection inside his head. It was creating a lot of pressure, sort of like if we had a sinus infection. He ended up sneezing while we were out here. He burst one of his eyeballs.
Oh,
yeah, it was crazy. So we called SeaWorld. They came out, cleaned him up, and checked him out. And he had to kind of push through with whatever he had, right? He had to just get over it. Anywho, I was nervous about the next mating season coming around because he looked different from the other male sea lions. I didn't know how that would work out for him. Apparently no eyeball, no problem. We had worked with 31, so it worked out in his favor. So where he's at today, he's always out here. Yeah, I haven't seen him a minute though.
No eyeball, no problem.
Rat now.
Man, this guy's good.
No. This little lady's like, excuse me, sir. Uh-oh. Remember when you were eating your ice cream?
Finally, just passes back out.
That is kind of funny.
You know what? So out here, so this is an active bait barge. They can't get to the fish that are down here, but we have an upwards about 110 species of fish here in the bay. They're attracted to this area as well. That's why these guys are fishing here. It's plentiful. So yeah, they're good. And they do not eat birds. All these bass. No. All fish. You know what? It's not even. You know what? It's like a red ball that pops out now. It's weird. He's just biting.
Coming back for more.
Yeah, so we were talking earlier about seal sea lions, like how different they are. People always, people are expecting to see seals when they come out here. These are all sea lions. You're dead set on seeing seals. Those are up in La Jolla. They've got harvest seals, California sea lions, wild dolphins up there. And that's a little spot called the Children's Pool. Absolutely free. It's right off of La Jolla shores. It's amazing. You know, when you get up there, a couple ways you can tell the difference between the two. People say, oh, that's exactly right. It's not like a donkey and a horse. Once you know, you know. These guys, look at the side of their head. They have little outer ear flaps like we do. They have long flippers and they live in these family communities. Seals do not. They have holes on the side of their head. That's how they hear. Short flippers and super solitary animals. You sound like a chihuahua. All right, say bye. See y'all later. Toodaloo. any types of like listening devices or explosive devices, right? Now they're also training these animals to look for unauthorized divers. So if there's people out here that are trying to sneak onto the base, there are animals out right now looking for that, okay? Just so you know, San Diego is a no-swim zone. Reason being, the military. So, no swimming out here. Now, when they find somebody, what they do initially, if it's daytime hours when people are still on the dock and working with the animals will go back there, notify them, and then they get sent back out to re-find that person. When they get sent back out, they have a clamp, but it looks, might seem like a small bear trap. So they'll sneak up on you, they're going to snap that clamp on your body. Now once that's connected to you, you have to have it surgically removed. You can rip it off if you want, you're going to lose your arm though, okay?
Oh my
so
God.
once that's on you, there's a rope connected to it. That rope floats up to the surface. The military police will come out, find that rope, and pull you up onto the boat, take you in. If it's after hours and there's nobody on the dock and they don't have access to the clamp, what they do, they're trained to take care of you themselves. So, the animal spots you. Doesn't make a ruckus, he turns around, he goes away from you, turns back around, and then he comes back, he's going about 25 miles per hour. He's trained to go for your core. He's going to go for your rib cage because, well, that's what they learn. They break your ribs. Ribs are extremely painful once they're broken. You're handicapped in the water. That buys them some time to notify when they need to come pick you up. Stay out of the bay, alright? Just saying. Now, I do have a couple of photos from the training facility. That's one of the sea lions in training. You just notice he's got that silver clip in his mouth. It's a spring-loaded clip. They drop dummy items into the water here in the bay, off of the coast of San Diego. And that's what they're doing their training with. They actually bring that rope back up to the surface. That rope, just like with one of us, the rope's connected to you. Whoever they're working with is going to come out, skip that rope, and hoist the item back up onto the boat. Okay, one of our dolphins getting ready to head out into the open ocean. The reason I know they're getting ready to head out is because of that white platform that they have the animal on. That's called a beaching mat. Now, they use these beaching mats for two different reasons. Reason number one, to conserve the animal's energy. Alright, they don't want them swimming out there. Once they get out there, they're going to be depleted of their energy. They're not going to want to train. So they keep them cozy in this tent-like structure. Second reason, these animals are just like us. They're really prone to sunburn. You put them up on the deck of your boat and cruise out there, they're going to get scorched. So they definitely want to have defense against that. So that's the second reason. Now right here, this is right here off of the coast of Point Loma. You'll notice this dolphin has his tracking device on now. That's because they're sending it out into the water, into the open ocean. Always have their tracking devices on in the ocean because, well, these animals are very, well, expensive, they're time-consuming to train, so they want to be able to recover them easily as they take off, right? People always ask, well, how often do they take off? They don't. Why don't they? Because they're bonded with their trainers like a mom and a baby. Another reason I like to think that they don't take off is because, sort of like, you had a stray cat on your back porch, start feeding that kitty, you're a pet parent now. It is what it is. These guys are being fed, they're being fed very well. They don't have to fetch for themselves anymore, so why mess with a good thing? Now, this last photo is my absolute favorite. I love it. They're doing something at the facility that hopefully we are all doing on a daily basis because of the health benefits. They're brushing the animals' teeth. They brush their teeth at least 5 times a week because what they found is just like with us, gets rid of germs, gets rid of bacteria, and it helps sustain their choppers. So these guys are able to eat longer. Now, in the open ocean, out in the wild, the animals are living to be about 30 years old on average. At the facility here, they're tacking on an extra 5 to 10 years onto their lifespan just by brushing their teeth alone. Stay on top of that, alright? Just saying. Now, this is cool. We have one of our bosses. He was actually a trainer at the facility, worked there for 31 years. So that was a big part of his life for a long time. Now, a few weeks ago, we had a training session with him, and I picked his brain a little bit. I said, you know what, tell me something when I'm socialized. So, one night, everybody heads home. So Gremlin, he was good to go. We took him down to Florida for a special ops. They sent him out in the water with his tracking device on. He's gone for some time. He never comes back. For 2 days, they followed his tracking device, trying to hunt him down. Eventually, the tracking device stopped. Still working, but it just stays in one spot, so they knew they had fallen off. Whatever. They stuck around for 2 weeks waiting for this animal to come back. He never came back. They had to wash their hands of it and come back to San Diego. 6 months go by, and they head back down to Florida. Who jumps on the boat? Gremlin. He lays down and goes to sleep. He rehired himself. Yeah, these animals are amazing. They're so intelligent. Really, really cool to see. The same boat. He knew what it looked like. Yeah, or he knew his people's voices. It's crazy. Yeah. And when Johnny was telling me that story, telling us that story, I was just like, wow, that's amazing. This little part. Strong men to hop out and help push. Alright, here we go. Let's give Captain Gordon a round of applause for showing us the great. Alright, very important question. Do we have any birthdays on board today?
Nope.
Oh, what's your name? Wes? Alright. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Birthday to you.
Happy
Birthday, dear Wes. Happy birthday to you.
Alright, party's over. Just kidding. Happy birthday. Thanks for spending it with us. So we are going to pull over for just a moment. Reason being, I'm going to do a seaweed check. I haven't seen anything out there, but you never know what's going to be hanging off of our rig. It's going to take me about 45 seconds, and then we'll get back on the road. Now, before I go, I do want to let you guys know that you've been the best tour crew I've ever had on board.
No doubt.
Yes. Love you guys. I say that a lot, but I mean it this time. So, now that we're on the road again, how about a little bit of mood music?
Yeah. They're going to make sure they're not carrying any fish.
Right, here we go. Can you guys believe it? We've only got 25 minutes left together. 1, 2, 3. I'm a little hurt. I feel like you guys missed the mark. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3.
Aww.
in my humble opinion, off to the right hand side, you guys will be checking out what is the best view of our skyline. Beautiful. Now, also on the right hand side, you're going to see this round building back here with a big tiki head up on top of it. This is the Valley High Restaurant. If you have not been there yet, definitely put that on your bucket list as well. They offer Asian fusion, Polynesian type food. They have a phenomenal happy hour, spectacular views. But what they're most known for are their Mai Tais. So we get two per visit because those babies are extremely potent, right? They have about 4 ounces of rum, a little bit of crushed ice, a little tiny straw, that's pretty much it. Now back in May of 2024, we had a gentleman who went into the Valley High, ended up purchasing one of those Mai Tais, hunkered down for a while. When it came time for him to hit the road, he called his server over, he said, hey, can I get my bill? She said, you know what, we've already taken care of it, and this is for you as well. She handed him an envelope. Inside of the envelope was a gift card, and that gift card was loaded with $1,000 from the Valley High Restaurant.
Wow.
He had purchased the 3 millionth Mai Tai sold. So
wow.
Captain Gordon and I, when we drop y'all off here in 25 minutes, we're going to be coming back and working on 4 million. Hey, no babysitting for me tonight. Now we do have quite a few blind spots on the way back to court, so we do, I actually will be helping him with those, so you guys see me stand up, please don't follow me, thank you. Now once we do get to our first turn up here to be the light, the traffic light, we're going to be making a right-hand turn, okay, but when we make that right-hand turn, I want you guys to look off to the left and up in front. You're going to end up seeing a baby blue party bus that says San Diego Taco Tour on it, okay? We are not affiliated with this company whatsoever, but I have been on the taco tour. I went on one lunch and one dinner, and they were both awesome. The dinner, in my opinion, was a little more fun, but whatever. Anywho, it is $40 for adults, $30 for kids.
We're gonna do
They
that.
take you to 4 San Diego famous taco shops, drop you off for a half hour, let you get some grub. If you want to bring your ski back on with you, you can do that as well. We're going to cruise you around San Diego. Now, this has been, I don't know, a couple months ago. I was over at Ocean Beach, and I was cruising around over there, and I ended up seeing one of the party buses there, and there was somebody sitting in it. So I walked up to him. I said, hey, how's it going? Have you had any people on board your tour from the SEAL tour? And he was like, you know what? As a matter of fact, he's like, I've had quite a few recently. I said, that was me. He was like, what do you mean? I said, well, I had fun. So I've been telling everybody on my tour, I'm a tour guide, that, you guys are awesome. Right over there.
Yay, taco
And he
tour.
was like, oh, well, thank you so much. I said, thank you, nothing. Advertising's not free, my man. I'm going to need some tickets. So let me know when you're ready, girl. So now I feel obligated to put that due diligence, But yeah, it is so fun. You guys get a chance? Take us to Seaport Village, right where we're at, so keep that in mind. Now, right back here behind this hotel, we have Free Moment Seafood. So the fishermen that are still located in this area, those are actually the guys that are supplying that restaurant. They bring fresh catch in every morning. Now, a lot of times that restaurant is so busy, they sell out by lunch, they just shut down altogether. They don't bring anything else in or nothing. They wait until the next day and start over. If anybody's into lobster, their lobster rolls are phenomenal. They're like sacrilegious. They're so good. All clear over here, looking great. In our tour, when I do like to talk a bit about Old Town San Diego. Has anybody been to Old Town yet?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys love it? Anybody go to the Wheelie House?
Yep.
Okay, well, I love Old Town. Great shopping, great restaurants, lots of history, lots of haunted history. Now, when I talk about the cafe beforehand, and then we'll walk over. It's right across the street. I said, all right. So I was looking good. I was smelling good. I showed up to the old time Mexican cafe. When I walked in, I knew this guy was not for me. Because it had been free partying when I showed up. With the no conditioning on that board. So it was the same. I went across the street. I claimed to take it to the person because I knew he wasn't going. Why wait home? You know, the court, the guy showed the court, all the court. I was freaking out, okay? Like, really? You guys don't know each other. That's what I was expecting. Even if I don't know people, if I have somebody to be afraid with, no. I just bullet went on the tour. The tour guide was phenomenal, okay? Everything about the house inside and out. We end up upstairs. There's a bedroom and a playhouse with all these benches. I sit down on one of the benches, we're chatting, and as we're chatting, I feel fingers on my neck. I'm not kidding you. I stood straight up, he scared the heck out of me, and he was like, what's going on? Are you okay? I said, I just felt something touch me. I gotta get out of here. I'm done. So we ended the tour. We got out of that house. Now, at that time, something I didn't know that I know now, Thomas Whaley, the patriarch of the Whaley family, he apparently had acquired that plot of land at a discounted rate because of something that once stood there, the gallows. So there were 3 different names on that land. The land already had dark history well before the house was there. The horns were together, the gallows were stood there, something grabbed my neck. So it's I have not been back to that house yet, but you guys should totally go check it out. You know how it goes. Where's your bath? Well, it's what's called Cancer Survivors Park. So there are actually 24 little parks throughout Canada and the United States. They were created by a couple named Richard and Annette Block. So Richard Block, he's the CEO of a drug law company. He was diagnosed with stage 4 small lung cancer. He was given 90 days to live. He survived for 26 years beyond that. During the 26 years, he and his wife built a park for cancer survivors all over the world. On the other side of the bay, you're going to be checking out one of our 3 nuclear aircraft carriers that we have in San Diego. We've got the number 70 in Port Davis, the USS Carl Richardson. Also got the 71 USS Theodore Roosevelt and the 72 USS Abraham Lincoln. Abe Lincoln last month ended up touching down in the Mini, so we wish them well over there. We've got our final branch of the military that we recognize off the tour. We've got the United States Coast Guard, also known as the Guardians of the Southwest. If you're having any issues out on the water, these are the guys and gals that are going to help you out. We've got one of their Jayhawks out on the tarmac right now. Now, they patrol about 300 miles into the Pacific Ocean, 90 miles up the coast, and then 14 miles down to Tijuana, Mexico. Now, oh gosh, all these sailboats out here. These nuclear aircraft carriers, if you want to kind of jump over to that again for a sec, they're so interesting. I know from this standpoint, you can't tell just how massive they are. About 1,100 feet long. Up on the flight deck there, you can fit 3.5 full NFL football fields, or, if you don't know about football, you can take 2 of our tallest skyscrapers out of the skyline, fly those babies coast to nose, and have about 100 feet to spare on the top of that ship. We've got anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000 troops on board, 85 to 90 aircraft, 2 galleys or kitchen that put out about 15,000 to 18,000 meals a day. Once they're out to sea, they're considered to be floating cities. And this was cool. I had some sailors on board that were also one of the aircraft carriers. I don't remember which one. But as they were leaving, one of those guys told me, he said, you know, these nuclear aircraft carriers, they have so much harnessed energy and harnessed power within them. You took one of them and you were able to plug it directly into the city of Minneapolis. You could light that city up in its entirety for over a month. Amazing. Now we are going to be coming back around to our Maritime Museum. I know that we already talked a little bit about the Black Pearl, but there's so much more going on in there. Oh, what do you get? Oh, he got hung up. Lots of lobster around here. Are they? Oh, they're too small right now? Oh, are they really? All right, here we go. All right, so back to our Maritime Museum. All the way out, we've got the California. That's an 1846 replica of a revenue cutter. It used to do everything that the Coast Guard does today. The brown Spanish galleon there, that's a replica of the San Salvador. First ship to bring Europeans into this bay. That is 1842. Berkeley steamer ship, famous for saving thousands of people during the famous fires that burned down San Francisco. And right here, the Star of India, the Star called the girl of San Diego Bay. November 14th, she turned 162 years old. She's been around the world 21 times, all wind powered. She's never had an engine, and she was first placed on the water 5 days before accidentally became a first dress. If you guys get a chance to check out that museum, if you're into maritime at all, that is the one for you. Number 1 in the United States. So we're just a couple minutes off from port. Now's a really great time to look around. Make sure you guys didn't drop anything, okay? And I'm saying that because we had somebody leave their passport recently. So I just want to make sure nothing that you're going to really need in the near future is dropped out of your pocket or your purse. Keep an eye out. Also, if you guys have any snacks or goodies on board with you, anything to drink, please gather your garbage, pack it in, pack it out. That's one thing we do ask of our guests, please. We will have trash cans waiting for you at the bottom of the stairs when we disembark here in just a few minutes. Now, once we get through the light here, we're going to be coming to our final, my favorite little touchdown of the tour. You're going to see back behind the Midway Museum, a little plot of grass, okay? On that grass, you're going to see a very tall man kissing a very tall woman.
Oh, yes.
We're going to be checking out the kiss statue here in just a sec. So the kiss his statue. This is depicting that famous photo that was snapped at the end of World War II with Times Square, New York, 1945. Those folks are named George and Greta. Now, despite many different stories that we heard, George and Greta, they were not husband and wife. They did not know each other. He was so excited that that war was over. He grabbed the first lady he saw. He planted a passionate kiss upon her. Now, I'm going to jump to the end, okay? Because the story is pretty long, interesting, but the most interesting part, okay? So it took 35 years to reconnect these two because the photographers didn't get their names once he got that photo. So found the gentleman quickly. His name was George. Found her 35 years later because she walked into timeline and said, that was me in that photo. They took some snapshots of her. They used those photos against this one. They found out that the bone structure was right on, and that was her. They pulled together a formal reintroduction. These two became great friends, right? Now, if you go into the archives of Time Life and you look at that original photo, you're going to see them kissing. You're going to see a lot going on in the background with Times Square. You're going to see a woman in a white dress right beyond them. She had brunette hair. George was on a date with that lady. That was their first date. He would later marry her, and people gave her a lot of trouble because they said, oh, how could you marry a man that would kiss a woman on another woman on your first date? She said, well, it was a first date. I didn't know where it was going, and that lady was a nurse coming off of a warship. My date at the time was a sailor coming off of a warship. I found something very patriotic that they ended up in that embrace, and she let that picture be what it was. Iconic, right? Now, 35 years down the road, when they pulled those two back together and introduced them formally, it was really cute. So Greta, she says, I've heard all of these stories about, the nurse, me being the nurse and him being the sailor and yada yada. And she said, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but George grabbed the wrong girl that day. I was a dental hygienist on my lunch break. He mistook her dress for one of the nurses on the warship. He thought she was a nurse. Anyway, she was not at all. She became famous by default as George and Greta and the kiss. Now, I love it. So cute. There's actually 9 of those statues around the world. The original is right outside of Sarasota, Florida. So if anybody's over there, check that out. Now, if you guys had a great time, go on to Yelp or TripAdvisor, Google reviews, whatever you use, and drop our names. Passing forward is First Mate Jules. We love when you guys do that because it shows the bosses who's doing a great job. You're looking good. And we love seeing our name in lights, right? Now, if you guys had a terrible time, you can go online and drop our names as well. This is Mary Kate, I'm Ashley. Don't use my real name, right? Loving it. So we do have a couple of parking lots. We have a couple of parking lots coming up here, one on each side of this driveway here. Now, do I have any friends on board who parked over here or parked over here?
Yes.
Nobody?
Yes.
Okay, so if you parked in either one of these parking lots, make sure you go grab that ticket out of your car. Get your debit card, credit card, whatever you use to park. Come back to our ticket booth, we validate. Okay, we're going to save you a nice chunk of money on that, so do not forget to do that. All right. Something else important. Back here we have a blue building with a red brick chimney. Those are the restrooms, just in case. I know, 100 minutes can be a lot. So there you go. Now, when we do pull around, we're going to ask everybody to please stay seated for about 40 seconds. Let's say 40 seconds. So